What is up, my family? Today we'll be doing a Q&A. You guys got questions for me and I got the answers. This will be a first of many. I ran a thing on Instagram asking what questions you have for me. I would like for you to do the same on YouTube. Go ahead and ask me any question you like on the comments below. But let's go ahead and get started with the first question so you can get to know me a little better. So the first question is, why did you quit your job? As many of you know who have been following me on TikTok since 2021, you will know that I used to be a software engineer. And ever since then, I've transitioned from a full-time software engineer all the way to working as a software engineer and content creator at the same time to now doing full-time content creation. The reason I chose to leave my software engineering role was due to the fact that I felt like I had no passion being in that role. Any type of code or whatever I was doing there was not giving me what I truly wanted in life. And at the same time, I felt like my passion was content creation because of the fact that I would always clock out from work and the first thing I would do would be start working on the videos, start scripting them, start recording them, editing them, and then doing the voiceovers all the time. I enjoyed it every single day. It just made me happy to do that versus, sitting at a desk and just typing away. I felt like the reason I left was mainly because my passion has been in content creation. I feel like I can shine with my creativity, and also growing up, I love genuine interactions. So that's a big reason why you'll see me on social media always replying back to as many comments as possible because I like having conversations with anyone and everyone. The next question is, do you ever plan on going back to being a software engineer, and what's your goal with content creation? So piggybacking over that last question, I'll let you know right now that going back to software engineering or tech is probably not in the cards for me anymore. Not because I forgot everything. I don't know if y'all know this, but I have pretty good memory and I still do remember how to code and everything, but it would just need to take a little refresher to get back into it. But I don't think I will ever have to because I don't really want to. I feel like I wasn't giving my all when I was doing it, and whenever I'm doing something, I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to give it my all, and being in that position, I don't feel like I would ever want to go back. Not in terms of not being in the corporate world. So it's actually funny because my father was a business owner, and seeing the highs and lows of what it's like to own a business always put me off, and I always wanted something that would be considered more secure. So I wanted to go to school, get my education, and just have a corporate job and live life. But now as a content creator, it's a business. I never thought I'd be in this position, but I love doing what I do. So going forward, when it comes to what my goal is for content creation, it's continue to create my brand as Rasik Kaiser. And soon enough, I am working to launch maybe a physical or digital product that I'd like to share with you at some point in time. But you know that I'm always focused on perfection. So when I do create this product, it has to be the best of the best, making sure I'm putting my all in it and creating something that's a business out of a product that's not just associated with me, but something that's useful, practical, and brings a value to you. So the next question we have is, why the name My Family for your fan base? What meaning does it have, and why did you choose it? So I've never really considered, I know a lot on my stories, and whenever I'm posting, I always say my family. And the reason I say that is I always feel like followers has a weird connotation of it where it might make me feel like I'm like saying something about myself that I don't really like. And I'll always use like maybe audience or community. And for the most part, I always end up using my family because I feel like you have seen me grow into a person these past couple years, always focusing on being here to inspire 1% better every day. 3 years, seeing my growth, and I feel like you being there on my journey has built a personal connection with me and you to, I consider you my family. There's things about myself that sometimes I forget and you remind me of. The Weeknd just had a concert in Brazil, and outside of always using Drake music, I'd always use The Weeknd music, but since he hasn't dropped a lot in the past, since his last album, Don FM, I haven't been really using the music as much anymore. But the other day, I was getting messages that when I was in Portugal, everyone was like, I thought you'd be in Brazil for the Weeknd concert. I'm just like, oh yeah, you're right. But it's just like, it's funny because sometimes you know me better than I know myself, and sometimes I forget the things you actually know about me and actually remember. And it really touches my heart because I see the things you're sending me and it's like related to me. I got this Nespresso slash Porsche coffee machine sent to me on the DMs. It's like this little TikTok or reel that I saw, and everyone kept sending it to me because they're like, oh, Rasik, your love for coffee and your love for cars or Porsche. And it's just, that's the reason I feel like we have this connection where you are my family. I feel like I've created a space for people to be where they'll always be accepted, whatever they might believe in. You know, I speak in very ambiguous terms to make sure no one's ever feels left out, because I just want everyone to be here like a family. So the next question is, what keeps you motivated and how do you keep yourself accountable? All right, so whenever people come to my platforms, the messages I receive a lot is, Rasik, you inspired me to do this, you motivated me to do this, and that means so much to me. And the way I keep myself motivated, before it was just a matter of what I desire and what I want to be and making sure that I never put excuses on anything. I'm not a complainer in any sort of way. I think when it comes to, there are points where maybe I need venting and I just want to vent just for the sake of just saying it, but then there's also points where I'm just venting but knowing what solutions that I need to do in order to figure out how to stay motivated and keep myself accountable. For me personally, what keeps me motivated now and keeps me accountable is you, because of the fact that I need to make sure that I'm being consistent and making sure that I'm maintaining what I'm eating, my body shape, making sure I'm maintaining, you know, posting on all my platforms, what you expect from me, and delivering on those expectations. And that's what really motivates me now. But it goes far past just being motivated, but rather having that discipline instilled in me. When I share all my routines with you, whether it's morning routine, cleaning, reset, organization, nighttime routine, all these routines are just discipline in me and how I function throughout my day. It may look long in the video, but these processes are much shorter when you're doing them in real time, and it's just how I go throughout my day. It started with when I first started going to the gym. The gym was like the main part. When I think my routine, it's the first thing that pops in my head. My back routine, chest routine, legs, whatever it may be, that's the first thing, that's the first step it takes to build that routine. And ever since doing that, that's the discipline I built to make sure I'm always going to the gym, making sure I'm always eating right, making sure I'm getting enough sleep and everything. So it's really past just keeping myself motivated, but making sure I've set up these systems to keep myself disciplined. So the next question is, and it looks like it's a double for one, what was your inspiration to start creating content and what do you do apart from this? So my big inspiration when it came to creating content, I've always been intrigued by social media. There are times where I'd always try to get virality in some sort of way. But when it comes to the people who are my inspirations for content, when it comes to watching YouTube back in the early days, my favorite YouTubers were Ryan Higa, Kev Jumba, and Smosh. These three YouTube channels are the ones that I always think of when it comes to creating content. Although my content doesn't really resemble what they did back in the day, I do take a lot of inspiration of, like, you know, being consistent and actually like staying true to yourself when it comes to those creators back in the day. And over time, I kind of outgrew watching YouTube, and for years I didn't watch it. And then up until TikTok came around, I started scrolling on TikTok all the time, and I started by exploiting my original cats, you know, Tiger, Stripes, and Tinkerbell, and also making some car content at the time too, speaking on it. But I feel like I'm a jack of all trades in a sort of way where I do like many things, and I wanted to somehow bring it all together and make content. And that's how I started making my version of Day in the Lives on TikTok, where I would implement things that I love and combine it all, whether it's the cats, cleaning, cars, and fashion, you know, routine, and bringing it all together in one single video. And I just started doing that every single day because I just enjoyed it, and I just felt like if I stayed consistent, that every single day that I didn't post was just a missed opportunity to going viral. And soon enough, I had a plan in my back of my head that when I started my full-time software engineering position at the time, that I would like to have 100,000 followers by the time I start that job. And the day before, I hit my biggest video ever with nearly 4 million views on it. And then the next day, I ran it back again. So on my first day as a software engineer, I had hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. So outside of content creation, I obviously put my money in places that I think would be good bets and investments. But for me, it's always about plan A, and plan A has been content creation. I feel like when you focus on too many separate things, you start to lose sight of what plan A truly is. So I feel like I put all my effort and work into doing what I truly love. And ever since, I feel like it's always paid off for me. All right, next question. Would you ever consider visiting Japan? So I'll let you know right now that I ran something on Instagram again, asking you all what country I should visit next. And I had put in the cards, it would be Thailand, Japan, Egypt, Jordan, all of those. And I asked everyone, I want to thank every single one of you who invited me personally to your country and said that I would like to host you and show you around. That means the world to me. And that's exactly why I call you my family, because you guys give me the opportunity of, being invited like I'm your family. But I'll let you know right now that it's very likely that the next trip coming up may be Japan. I'm also looking into coming to Thailand. So coming soon. I'll make sure I gotta book the tickets, make sure I'm paying good prices, because flights are expensive. All right, next question. Could you ever see yourself moving to a different state or another home someplace else? All right, so I was born in Houston, not Sugarland, from A-Leaf, but I grew up in Dallas my entire life, and I've been here ever since, so I don't really know much else of the world outside of visiting many of the countries that I've been to. But if there's one place that I would like to live in as of recent, it would be New York City. I feel like it's always in the back of my mind of wanting to move to New York City. One of my close friends is actually living there now, and he's always telling me to come by, live there, do a staycation there for a couple months and see how you like it, because he always thinks that my vibe fits there. But I feel like being in Dallas, I rep my hometown, I rep my Mavericks, I rep my Cowboys. So it just feels like it'll always be home. I also like being close to my family. So moving is just a iffy topic, and I'm just trying to make the right decision, because obviously being in a place like, whether it's like LA or New York City, there's obviously going to be more opportunities for the line of work that I'm in. But I also want to make sure that I'm keeping that balance of work, also making sure I'm keeping that connection with my family as well. And I mentioned it to my mom, I'm moving to New York City. She don't like that, I'm telling you right now. All right, so I think the big question is, are you single? I'm gonna let you know right now, and these are my mom's words, not mine. As long as there's no ring on this finger, I am single, all right? And someone had asked me, are you in a relationship with someone? If yes, then when are we seeing her? If not, then why? And when it comes to my decisioning on whether I want to ever share my relationship on social media, solely comes down to the fact that social media is not always the safest place. And after years of being on social media, I've learned as much as there's people that love me, there are also people that don't love me. And when it comes to the comments that I've received over time, when it comes to, hateful messages, there are times where maybe I'm already down and I read those and it kind of does affect me. And I very much know what type of impact those comments might make on the woman in my life. So I'm still thinking through it, whether I would ever share that life of me on social media. I also think it would be very difficult to hide it, because if I do day in the life and my wife is sleeping in my bed, I feel like you would know. But yeah, I'm still trying to make a decision on whether I will share that part of my life in real time when it comes to creating my content, because I think some things are meant to be private, and I really very much believe in evil eye, and because of the fact that, even I get scared posting things about my life because of the fact that, there are people in the world that don't want the best for you. Even before I make a post, even before I show you something new I got, I always pray beforehand, because I know the impact that it might make on my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, and hopefully you learned a little more about me that you might not have known before. I want to start making more of these Q&A videos so I can answer any questions you have for me. That's what I got for you today. Make sure to drop questions and comments below to ask me what I can make for the next Q&A video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications, and I'll see you on the next video.